Hello, savvy readers, and welcome to another episode. There's been an issue, a cultural issue as of late, that has been on my mind, and I'm sure yours, for quite some time, and we're going to tackle it head-on in today's episode of political partisanship. And if it were limited to everyday folks like you and me or my neighbor, I really wouldn't have much to say on the matter. However, it has pervaded our Congress, our highest echelons of government, and therein is where I have a problem. And unlike our economy, it has had a trickle-down effect so that it can be difficult, nay impossible, to discuss an issue of political dissent with anybody. But first, let's take a look at Congress. The past two congressional sessions, the 112th and the 113th, consecutively, have been the least productive in United States history. Well, what do I mean when I say that? What I mean is that there have been fewer legislative initiatives passed than at any point in American history, and this has garnered a 9% approval rating for Congress, almost as low as that Subway guy. No, we don't care how you made history. It's bad enough that you did, and your approval ratings are at 0. But let's take a look at this short video to show us exactly how bad political partisanship has become in our Congress. You can literally see the divide, or as the band Tool put it, schism, which I barely have a grasp on that word, but it's a fantastic song that you should look up if you haven't heard it, between the Republicans and Democrats, and it's no wonder why approval ratings and productivity is so low in Congress, but at least we can see visually the problem. Shout out to Business Insider for creating that graph. But let's not confine the scope of this to just Congress now. After all, we live in a representative democracy where we elect these people to represent us. I think the problem is that we have transformed this from a matter of how politicians suit our ideology to how politicians suit our behavior. And the divide on the role of government, the environment, race, immigration, global involvement, nearly everything seems to be overwhelming, much like choosing between a liberal arts degree and a degree in business administration. But when you really think about it, is it really that difficult to make the right decision, business administration? I'm just kidding. But when you really think about it, the truth is these constant issues have been prevalent throughout most of our history in the United States, and they are reoccurring as the geopolitical complexities evolve over time. The problem now, today, is that since our politicians can't find a middle ground, it seems to be piling up, and we get further and further behind the pursuit of progress. So, since we have an idea of the partisanship in our Congress and its effect, let's talk about us, we the people. The go get America badass folk to the Barbie creates an unrealistic standard of beauty folks. The concept of a representative democracy hinges upon both of those people's voices being heard. However, there is a moral imperative for us to be able to speak to each other without vitriol. I have seen some pretty heinous things said in Facebook comment threads and YouTube comments and even some video responses that I would never say to my grandmother. But maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's the issue. We need to see these people as humans or people that we care about. Minimalistically, we should elect representatives that have the capacity to do this, the capacity to act better than us, because these are the people that ultimately, indirectly, control our lives. And the truth lies somewhere in the middle, and the same can be said of our politics. So, where do we go from here? Where is this silver lining? Well, we have two options. On one hand, we can continue to block and ignore people who have a dissenting opinion from us, no matter how they say it, and choose to live in a kind of echo chamber, or we can communicate the issue. And I know what you're saying, I know what you're thinking. Oh, well, they're dumb as a rock. We can never get any progress made with this idiot. No. If persuasion cannot be an objective to be met, then let the objective be one of understanding. If not for them, then for yourself. Otherwise, you are just like the people that you're complaining about. And we don't have to obtain the ideal, folks, but we should strive for a kind of community where we can talk about ideas and maybe one day a solution to those problems. But ultimately, and the bottom line is, you should be the change that you want to see in the world. You shouldn't be the problem that you see before you. And as always, thank you for watching.